A big update on the migrants arrested after storming the border and pummeling National Guard troops on the way.
Okay.
As more than 220 of them are now charged with inciting a riot.
That's what's
Overnight,
up.
Governor Abbott reacting, tweeting in part, quote, ICE confirmed it is getting custody of all those charged with rushing the border and will start deportation proceedings against them. Awesome. Send them and we'll send them back.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. Welcome back to Monarch Smart TV, everyone. You already know what to do. Just subscribe if you new here and turn them notification bells and put them on all. Everybody, like up the video. We're not wasting no time. Just get y'all spliff, get whatever y'all need, put y'all legs up, get comfy, and check out the facts.
Retired Army Lieutenant Colonel Chuck DeVore is Vice President of the Texas Public Policy Foundation, joins us now. Chuck, what was the problem on Easter? They didn't like the paperwork, so they were threatening to let them out on their own recognizance?
What?
Well, evidently the paperwork wasn't processed quickly enough for the liking of the judge, which, of course, is a principle in U.S. jurisprudence, right? But you would have expected that the district attorneys deputy DAs would have worked over Easter to process the paperwork to meet the judge's requirement.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we almost had a pretty big slip up here with a bunch of people getting away.
All right, good. So let's hope it ends up working out. El Paso County Court of Migrants returned to ICE custody obtained by the New York Post. Quote, all individuals allegedly involved in the March 21st border breach and federal detainers filed by Immigration and Customs Enforcement to have them returned to custody once released from state custody. All right, good. So next, in New Orleans, they start talking again about SB 4 and deliberating on whether Texas can do this on their own border. What is the time frame? How many days of arguments will we see? When can we find out if you guys can implement this law?
Well, a very complex case, a lot of back and forth, of course, in the Fifth Circuit. I'd imagine you're going to see something definitive within a month. And of course, it will be immediately appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court. And who knows whether or not there's going to be a final determination before the election in November. The bottom line is that Texas is asserting traditional powers that states have, state sovereignty to protect the health and welfare of their citizens. And so Governor Greg Abbott is merely doing what governors have done in the past in Texas and other states.
That's the argument, and let's hope this judge, normally a conservative court, while they argue and deliberate, will allow you to implement this law. Meanwhile, 326,000 illegal immigrants, according on President Biden's top secret flight program, where you fill out in another country an app, you come to the border, they fly you into this country secretly. Guess where most of the illegal immigrants are going after they fill out this little app?
Where?
Texas and Florida. What's your take on that?
Well, the bottom line is what the lawless Democrats under Biden are doing.
They trying to turn those states, you feel me? They trying to turn those states from Republican to Democrat. That's what they doing.
Or they're trying to hide the ball. They're trying to prevent any sort of significant visual image from these masses of individuals backing up at the border. That's what they don't want at all costs. And so what's happening is they're using this CBP One app. It's an app on the phone. They fill it out. They can fly directly into America. Now, they're still illegal aliens when they do so. But by flying directly into mostly Florida, what they get is they get no crowds at the border or a significant reduction of crowds at the border because that's what they want to avoid. They don't want those visuals.
So you hear what's going on. Biden is flying them in. It looked like it's a crisis at the border, but that's just pretending. It is crisis. People flooding in as well. But Biden is flying people in on planes every day, coming into Texas, coming into Florida secretly. Because, you know, they the government. They could do that.
Visuals because Americans strongly disapprove of the Biden border crisis.
So people should understand at home, as bad as the border looks, they are flying people over the border into Miami, 326,000, Houston, 21,000, Los Angeles, 8,000 plus, San Francisco, 4,000 plus, and they're here already. The whole point, Chuck, of this program originally was you apply in the country you're in or the first one you step into. We don't fly you here and then deliberate your status. It's insanity.
Facts.
It is insanity. And let's go back to the riot in El Paso. What you didn't see in those videos was you didn't see any Border Patrol agents. And that's because they're so busy processing the illegal aliens that are violating our laws that the only people who were on the border were Texas National Guard and Texas Department of Public Safety troopers.
Wow.
All the Border Patrol were in processing. Now, Brian, this is a new policy that reverses something that was put in place 31 years ago. It was called Hold the Line, where we would directly turn back into Mexico people that were crossing between the ports of entry. Biden overturned that program, and that's why you're seeing the riot at the border, and that's why you're seeing the increasing chaos at the border.
And he's saying because the Republicans walked away from the legislation, that was their chance to fix things, so it's not his problem anymore. Thankfully, by the polls, no one's buying that. Chuck DeVore, thanks so much.
So let's move on to the next story.
Major update on the Biden administration's secret migrant flights. Brand new analysis showing the previously undisclosed cities where the White House flew in 386,000 illegal immigrants from unknown countries. This all happening between October of 2022 and this past February. 326,000 of them went through Miami. Second on the list is Houston. No secret that Governors Ron DeSantis and Greg Abbott are two of President Biden's biggest critics. Florida Congressman Corey Mills joins me now. Congressman, 90% of illegal migrants flown by President Biden in this secret flight issue thing that Biden did were to Governor DeSantis and Governor Abbott states. Is that merely a coincidence?
Well, not at all, Todd. And you know all too well that this is an attempt to retaliate against red states. You know, the governor here in Florida, as well as for in Texas, have continued to bust those to the sanctuary cities who claim that they want to have the immigrants that are coming into their cities, but yet they want to complain about them like Mayor Adams has done. Look, what we know so far from the investigator Bensman from the Center of Immigration Studies is that approximately 326,000 has come on what they're calling a humanitarian parole program. As you pointed out, from around October of 22 to February of 23, there's around 326,000 that we know of. He also stated, though, in his investigation that he had no cooperation with CBP or others to actually give him the real numbers. That means that when we're talking every single month, when we're saying 200,000 have crossed the border in this month, 175,000 in this month, that's not including this humanitarian parole program that Biden has set up to illegally go ahead and bring more criminal migrants from Honduras, from Venezuela, from Guatemala. And these are the countries who are dumping their prisons. And so you look at this, Todd, and you say, how is it that we have thousands and thousands of these angel families like Lake and Riley, or like our own Florida State Representative, Keon Michaels, who basically also lost her son after being killed by a man who was deported 3 times. And so this is a real humanitarian, national security, and health crisis that is plaguing America, and Biden is doing this unconstitutionally into the state of Florida.
Yeah, I had trouble saying the phrase humanitarian parole just because it doesn't seem very humanitarian to the individuals like Lake and Riley and her family. But is this just payback, or is there something more going on here? Because if I'm Joe Biden and, I don't know, maybe I want to change the makeup of an electorate, I funnel in 326,000 new voters who potentially are indebted to the Democratic Party to a state like Florida, where Governor DeSantis is crushing it in terms of winning elections lately.
Yes, sir.
State level.
Well, and not to mention the fact that these individuals that are coming in are actually being counted into our consensus statements. So when you're doing these consensus surveys and you're trying to determine what area has a high dense population for a representative, it's also modifying our maps when we're actually looking at elections. So even if you're saying that they don't count towards actually going into elections, they do count in the redistricting of making sure that you have certain population densities that are represented in each individual state and each individual district. And so this is absolutely intentional. This is the replacement theory by the Biden administration. You have 70 to 100,000 who die of fentanyl poisoning every single year. You've got angel families that are continuing to accumulate. This is a absolute violation of our sovereignty, and it's unconstitutional, and he should be impeached for this. And I hope that the Senate will take up and take seriously the impeachment articles that we have presented from the House that Speaker Johnson has now passed over, to ensure that Mayorkas is not only impeached, but that we can go up the chain from there for those who are truly responsible, which is Joe Biden. Because I can tell you, Todd, as you know, this did not occur under President Trump.
Thank you, Corey Mills, for keeping the pressure on the Biden administration on this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. These some serious allegations, ladies and gentlemen, and you could see it. It's a big crisis going on right now, and they just ready to cheat again. You feel me? Cause they know we don't have that corona stuff no more where they could just easily mail in ballots, where they could just easily rob up the election. Now they bringing in the voters, millions and millions and hundreds and thousands. They flooding in to those red states, so they trying to flip it to blue. So once they do stuff of that nature, they gonna automatically win. So they basically cheating right now, bringing in illegals to votes and win an election. The Democrats always got tricks up their sleeve, but you already check out the next story.
Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson announcing migrants will be moved from shelters today in order to use those facilities for their original purpose. The migrants will be moved to various homeless facilities, which are already struggling with strained resources. For more on this, let's bring in Chicago resident Cassia Jones. Cassia, thank you for taking time. Explain, you're there on the ground in this area, Gage Park. What is it like?
For us, those past months have been a nightmare, because we don't have any safety, no security. They do whatever they feel like. We have cars parked on the side of the street, selling food without permit, no license, smoking weed 24/7 a day, drinking in broad daylight, and seriously, no control whatsoever. We don't have cops, we don't have nobody to help us. We call them, they come, they go, and I'm not trying to be anti-immigrants, but what I'm anti right now, it's the government that bring all this danger to us.
Facts.
Because we don't have any support. And Mayor Johnson and Alderman Vasquez is supporting the situation right now, bringing all this to our homes, and we don't have nobody to call for help. Even last meeting that we have in December 19 with the mayor deputy, Beatriz Ponce de Leon, she tried to compare them with the Ukrainians that be coming to the United States as refugees. But right now what's happening is just people taking advantage of the benefits because it's being given everything for free, like spoiled kids. You can have anything, but you don't have to do nothing back.
Well, Cassia, you came legally to this country from Brazil. How do you feel about now? I understand as...
See, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, she's an immigrant, but she came here legally, just like me. You feel me? You come here legally. You go to the embassy, get a visa, and come here legally. Then while you here, you take care of your citizenships and your green card or whatever, so you could stay permanently. But these people is doing it illegally, and the government is encouraging this, and it's wrong, because they basically shitting on us that got to go through that right procedure. And now they just open up the border. They even go into these countries and flying them in. They don't even know who they flying in.
This is set up there in Chicago. The families, the women that have the children will be given free housing elsewhere. They're getting free things.
Yes, I do feel like I slap in the face. I slap in the face as me as a legal immigrant, as the U.S. citizens, the black and the whites that have been living here forever, don't get the same benefits.
Facts.
And the illegal, they come before them.
Facts.
How about them? They've been work here. They pay taxes. They don't have social security. They are not allowed to go back home. But they are doing the economic here to go forward. Those people that are coming now, they're not offering nothing. They are offering. I'm not saying that all of them, but the majority is just danger to all of us.
Facts.
And Chicago is going downhill day by day.
Facts.
Because nobody's doing nothing.
Cassia, I've spent a lot of time on the border talking with migrants. You understand perhaps better than others why it is that migrants around the world may be seeing an opportunity the way the politicians, the Biden administration, in the case of Chicago, Mayor Johnson, and other cities around the country like New York and in California are incentivizing them to make the illegal trek. What is your reaction to that?
I think it's a disrespect. It's disrespect for the U.S. citizens. It's a disrespect to anybody that lives here and see what's going on. We pay high taxes for everything, and now they just open borders and let everybody get whatever they want. Just with like all the damage they're causing to the entire states. It's amazing, and I don't think it's fair. It's not fair to all of us.
Not at all.
We go through to a lot of things to come here to United States. You know, we pay to get our visas, our passports. We have to prove we have housing, that we have a job. Otherwise, we're not allowed to come in. And now they just open and say, hey, you guys are allowed to come. And they're coming because everything is for free.
Exactly.
You know, I think United States is treat them like spoil kids. Come to America. You guys can have whatever you want.
Facts, 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 facts. And that's what I've been saying all along. You feel me? Like, we didn't get this type of treatment when we come. We didn't get this type of treatment at all. We had to go through the right procedure. We got to go get our visa, get a passport, come here, make sure we get a job, then fill out the proper documents so we could get a green card, get our citizenship. We have to do everything the right way. These people is getting a free flight here, getting free apartments, free money, free everything. And then the government give them paperwork. You think everything is into play? You think they just gonna come here and that's gonna be it? They gonna make sure these people get straight where they could vote. That's the plan. It's crazy, it's crazy, it's crazy. But you already know Monarch's got the facts for y'all. So if y'all like content like this, please subscribe. Please like the video, share the video, tell a friend to tell a friend. You already. Peace and love. And we up out of here.